Okay, now this painting so far has dried at this level, and it still looks quite two-dimensional. So we've put almost like flat colours in here. All right, yeah, we've ran some other blendy kind of shadowy kind of things in here. We've let the colours to run together with warm and cool, but essentially it's still quite a two-dimensional painting as it is. Next thing we need to do is put, so I call it form shadows. So that basically they're not our final shadow area which would bring it all together. This is the next stage which will show us where the windows are, where the doors are, where the shape of the chimney stack. So we'll have a little bit of form showing on there, so it'll be darker there, but not the deep shadows. So these are, let's call it the form stage. I'm still using the same size brush. It's a size 14, a Skoda Perla Syntetico, so synthetic. I prefer to use synthetic brushes because it just it's more of a bounce. You know, the natural brushes are very floppy, and some people like it. You know, it depends what your preference is. So here now is the next stage, and I'm still going to use the same colours. So where the quite warm colours, I'll still use the warm colours, but maybe a little darker. That's all. So let's start off with this building here, the rooftop there. Let's just put a form shadow. Let's call it a form shadow. So there it is. That's the form shadow. So now it's got a front and a side. Yeah. And we'll put a couple of indication of some tiling here. We don't want to go mad, we don't want to put every single tile in because it'll just look too naive then. If we was doing a naive painting, then yeah, fair enough, but we're not. We're doing something a little bit more traditional, a bit more wet and wet. So here is so we carry on all the way through the painting, adding a little bit of form to everything now. This is just a mixture of cadmium orange and a little touch of burnt sienna, just to darken it a little bit. But we've got all these lovely colours underneath, so that it's picking those up anyway. It's just making it a little bit richer. So form colour on there, and you know, I don't like doing straight lines. It just doesn't seem natural. So we're kind of just splodging it in there. And this building, it's a thatched cottage, so we don't want any kind of tiling on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep the form shadows here, and the shadows gather just around these areas here, just under near to the eaves, and that could be it. But what I'm going to do is now I'm going to soften that. So I've just got myself a clean damp brush, and I'm just going to pull away that colour there. So we're just blending the edges, making the edges softer, softening the edges. Let's soften that edge there. Don't matter to, that can be quite a sharp edge because it's away from us, so we can do that there. Okay, just to give that Eve a bit of form, put that in there. Now this part here, let's go back a bit, let's work this way now. And I'm using a darker pigment there. Now under this Eve here, I'm going to use a bit of that's a bit of cool grey. That's all right there, and these windows go right up to there. So this window would be probably put together in about 2 or 3 stages. So we start off with a shadow colour, and we know that this is going to dry much lighter, so we can just bring that there. And don't forget, this is going to dry lighter, which will then give us an opportunity to put our windows in. Now this one here, we're going to get up a shadow under there. I'm just using a light wash at the moment. Just to establish those bends. So now I'm flooding in with a darker wash, and I can be more certain than you see. And there you go. Just let that run down a bit. There we go. Now we're going to have decide what colour we're going to do our window. So I'm going to use a cool grey with a little bit of blue in. Now it's not a very neat wash, this, because, and I'm going to go that way now, because I want to be able to do these windows in 2 stages. So I'm putting the first colour in here, the first shadow in, and we'll get there, that's there. And there's nothing much going on there. And well, actually there is just here, we have a little window sill here. Right, and we'll have a little window sill here. I didn't pencil these in because I'm just trying to be a little bit looser with these, but we still need to maintain that angle. Now we'll have a drain pipe going down there. And here we'll have another window going here. And we've got 3 windows here. Drain pipe, window, window. Window. That's a little shutter there, but I'm not putting all the details in. Right. Door here. Window there, a bit of a platform, here, now I've not coloured in the fronts of these buildings yet for a purpose, because they are different colours, but I want to just to get these little form shadows in. Before I did that. It's probably the wrong way to do it. I should have maybe have done the windows after I've done these colours, but you know, don't make mistakes. And right, now I'm going to leave that to dry. Right, so at this stage we're going to get some of these colours in of these buildings. Now there are 2 buildings here which are very, very light coloured. That one, half of it from there onwards, and that one, we leave that white. The rest of them are going to have warm colours to them. So I'm going to start off with a mixture of orange and yellow, for this building here. I want them to, I mean, in reality, I would say it's a browner colour, but I don't like that colour, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make it my own colour. It's nice, and a similar colour here. Yeah, I might add a little bit of orange to that. Just to differentiate that from this one there. Now we're starting to get a bead here. We don't need that yet, so I'm going to lift those little beads out and let it dry naturally. So it's got a lovely goldenness to this. In fact, I like that orange that much. I'm going to just under the eaves. I'm going to add that little bit of orange there and let it move down. It'll blend down into the yellow of its own free will, but I'll just help it along. Right, so we've got that one, we've got that one. These ones here are a little bit lighter, so I'm just going to make a little bit of yellow here. Well, actually, yellow ochre. It's not as harsh as the other yellows that I've been using, and I'm going to just put it at the top there. Over at the top there, and then it drip down to here. Let's see what happens if we add a bit of cooler colour at the bottom. It's a bit drastic, isn't it? But let's colour that. Let's bring that down. So as though these are creating shadows. And do you know what? I think it's quite nice, that. It's got a nice effect. Yeah. And this part here. We'll do the same there. Okay, now let's get some shadows under the eaves. So I'm going to mix a little bit of blue. This is Prussian blue. We don't want it too strong. We don't want it too strong at this stage. Just under the eaves. I'm not bothered about it running down too much. I'm going to leave this sharp edge, and it just makes you feel that there's a strong light at the bottom here. Lifting some of this out now because I don't want that to destroy that lovely goldenness. soften this one just at this edge, so the light seems to be shooting out. There might be a cloud here which is just diffusing this shadow here. Right, now let's get a nice mixture together. Get our part where we start adding in the detail, and it's the detail that is going to bring it all out. Now I don't want to get runny bits on this, so I'm going to leave this to dry and then see where we go from there.